The 3 key steps to living your life properly. These are the foundational steps you should take and the path you shouldn't stray too far from if you want to live a meaningful, fulfilled life. So tip number 1 is treat dating as a skill. As a young man, understand that dating isn't just something that happens. It's not just going to happen to you. It's not just going to come your way. It's a skill that you have to develop. Learn how to meet new people, be social, and approach women in real life. The moment you feel that internal nudge or magnetic pull towards someone or a specific individual, take action. The voice inside is trying to guide you. So go and start that conversation. From there, you'll naturally begin to improve in areas like vocal tonality, confidence, eye contact, and much more that we'll get into in future videos. But keep practicing. Apply what you learn and reflect on your experiences. Growth comes through real-world action. To go a little bit deeper on that point, what you're going to want to do is when you feel that fear or when you feel that real angst and that resistance that you feel come up, you need to go towards that fear and resistance, and you need to go through it to gain experience and overcome those hurdles that you're struggling with. You need to push through those barriers and really make yourself have the mindset of being at the cause of your life and not just at the effect. Some things that'll happen to you in life you will be at the effect of, but you need to have a strong mindset, be in control of your life, and start being at the cause. Start going after that person that you want and learn the skills associated with approaching, getting through that fear and that approach anxiety, and just starting a conversation. And if that conversation doesn't go anywhere and that person doesn't resonate with you, that's fine. Just say, sorry, nice to meet you, and walk away. But you'll be surprised when you go up to some people and they're very receptive to have a short conversation with you, or maybe even more. Have a longer conversation, maybe exchange information. And that's the skills that you need to develop, because every single skill that you gain along the way, the first thing is getting that approach anxiety out of the way and knowing that it's always going to be there, but you're going to have to push through that to actually say hello to people and be a social person in general. Once you've got that down, then you'll realize that you need a new skill of learning how to think of things to say, listening intently, and active listening so that you can naturally just have a flowing conversation. And then from there, you need to learn how to get somebody's information and say things like, oh, I actually have to go meet a friend right now, but let's exchange Instagrams and maybe we'll grab a quick coffee sometime. And then you can leave. And then that way, if you have a strong Instagram and you have some good pictures on there, you're maybe posting a story every once in a while, they can actually see what you're up to and you're not just another phone number in their phone. So get your social media dialed in as well. And that way they can put a face to a name, get a feel for who you are, and then you can continue to grow and have the skills to meet the people that you want to meet and get that relationship that you want to have. Tip number 2 is never lose sight of the bigger picture. All the effort you put into becoming a better man, society, emotionally, financially, is ultimately to build a family and a strong, lasting relationship. Yes, the goal is marriage. Yes, kids. Yes, not a popular opinion today in the world that we live in. And travel and freedom are glamorized. But the truth is, nothing brings you deeper fulfillment than raising children and building a life with someone that you love. By this point, you should also be building your financial foundation. But most importantly, make sure you're aligning your life with long-term meaning and purpose. Don't forget why you're on this journey in the first place. Yes, getting your finances in order is a very main key to have your foundation set to move forward so that you can have a good safety net and good safety and security as far as finances go if you need to deploy them in the fact of an emergency or something that you need that comes up that was unexpected. But once you have that down, then what you really need to do is have the mindset of, what am I doing this for? What are you actually building all these resources for? Why are you going out and trying to meet new people? What is the end goal? You can really enjoy the journey of meeting a whole bunch of different people, gaining that confidence that comes along with approaching a lot of different people, being a social person in general. And then once you have some relationships under your belt, maybe you've got your heart broken, maybe you've broke some hearts, maybe you're just trying to get a girlfriend and you want that relationship so that you can have somebody to grow with and you can have that companionship. Those things are all well and good, but you need to make sure that what you're doing is having the mindset of, I'm going to have a relationship and a family and kids, because that is something that you are going to have a massive fulfillment and really fill up your cup as far as your soul. Because our bodies, we are searching for that next thing in the physical realm. And you're not going to get the type of fulfillment that you're seeking outside of kids and family and having those responsibilities. Kids are the best thing that will ever happen to you. And I'm not saying you have to do it right away. You definitely have to do the things that we talked about in step 1 first to gain experience, to see what type of person resonates with you and what type of person you resonate with. But from there, once you get into some longer term relationships and you really feel like you're ready to take that next step, maybe it's in your late 20s, maybe it's in your early 30s, you have that person that you know has the same values as you, wants the same things out of life, and wants a kid and family. Because that's what this is all for. So don't forget that what you're doing this for is to meet a whole bunch of different people, become the best possible version of yourself, and then from there, you want to have kids, a family, and really build that legacy to have happiness and fulfillment long term. And tip number 3 is get on the same page financially. This is where many couples struggle, and I've lived it firsthand. My wife and I used to clash on spending until we sat down and created a detailed budget. It changed everything. Now there's no more guesswork or tension around purchases. The rule is pretty simple. If it's not in the budget, we have to save for it and revisit that purchase later on. So getting aligned financially isn't just about money. It's about peace of mind, teamwork, and a shared goal. So when you do meet that significant other and you're in that long-term relationship, obviously you're going to have either combined finances if you get married or not combined. People do it all sorts of different ways. But the way I do it, guys, is my wife and I have combined finances. Everything's together. And this is more based off what Dave Ramsey teaches. So if you're unfamiliar with his work, maybe check out him. And he has the baby steps. So the advice that I've taken from him is, my wife is a stay-at-home mom currently, and we have 2 kids. And what we do is we combine everything. And the biggest thing that we just did is build a detailed budget of all of our expenses, everything consistent, and we're seeing how much it should be left over at the end of the month. Because lately we've really been overspending and overreaching. So it was time to build a budget. So you need to be on the same page. And when you do build that budget, there's no more guesswork. Does this go on the Visa? Do we pay debit here? Can I buy this? Can I buy that? Well, there's no more guesswork. There's no more questions. It's just answers. And the answers are on that detailed budget that you've put together. The 2 of you, you've sat down, you've agreed on things. You're going to spend $60 a month on coffee. You're going to spend $100 a month on clothes. Whatever it is and whatever fits into your income and expense structure, you need to nail that down when you've really got serious about a person in your life that you want to grow with. Because one of the major key things in a relationship is to agree on money. Because that is one of the sources of contention, if not the major one, in most relationships. And you might have a significant other that works as well. So that would be very beneficial and helpful if you have that dual income. So if you do have that dual income, that's perfect. If you plan on having one of you raise the kids and one of you go to work, that's fine too. Just know that you need to be really structured, really detail oriented when it comes to that budget, and move forward together, and know that that budget isn't a jail. It's more of a permission to spend where you can, and then also set yourself up for the future so that you can be on the same page as you move through life, saving and investing, having enough money to do the things that you want to do, and then also being in agreement so there's not always this tension or anxiety around money that a lot of couples have. So get that one thing straightened out after you get the other two. The other two are a little bit more long term. Building a budget isn't too hard, but you just have to commit to it. And it'll solve a lot of problems and a lot of arguments in your relationship if you can get on the same page with money. So hopefully those 3 tips really helped, guys. I know the first 2 are a little bit outside of maybe your comfort zone, and you really need to push through it and be at the cause and take action. But once you do, you'll really see your potential and you'll get excited about what you actually can do. Maybe you didn't think you could get that girl of your dreams, or maybe you didn't think you could be a social person. But then you started talking to a lot of people and you realized that, hey, this isn't too bad. This is actually fun, and I can get in a good mood and feed off of other people's energy. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and check out this one right here if you want a little bit deeper of a dive into relationships and how to gain that significant other that you're looking for.